YouTube, how's it going? The GOAT House is back with some more NFL record predictions. This video is for the New Orleans Saints. We're going through every team. In fact, we did majority of the teams. Once I get through this, I'll predict the playoffs, the Super Bowl, and then after that, I'll get the other GOAT House members on board to make their divisional predictions, playoff predictions, and Super Bowl predictions. So a lot to get to still, but breaking down the Saints, I think of one of the more complete teams. There's a few teams in the NFL that would consider complete teams, and I think the Saints are one of them. No really standout guys along the defense besides Cameron Jordan, obviously, but I think Marcus Davenport can step up if he's healthy. I like Sheldon Rankins if he's healthy, so I guess it's about staying healthy up there. The only spot I don't really love for the Saints is their corners. Marshawn Lattimore has potential to be great. I think he was a little better his rookie year than last year, but this did force some big-time turnovers or come up with some big-time turnovers last year, so he's a playmaker. I think their safety step up. They drafted well there, and I think Marcus Williams steps up a little more. I like his game. And on the offensive side, obviously Drew Brees. Is this guy gonna decline at all because his age? Is he gonna? No, I think he still plays at a high level. There could be moments during the year where maybe sometimes it won't look like the same Drew Brees, but for the most part, I think he'll be solid. And then I love the Latavius Murray pickup. It's a good replacement for Ingram. And then at receiver, I think Traquan Smith can step up this year. Obviously, Michael Thomas is a top-tier receiver. But right before we get into these game-by-game predictions, 20K is our subscriber goal. We have daily sports videos, NFL, NBA. The first video we always upload is at 2 p.m. Eastern every single day. So much appreciated. Click that like button, subscribe button, checking out our Twitter, Instagram, links in the description for both those. We have polls. After I finish these divisions, to each team in the division, I have a poll on Twitter. You guys vote for who will win each division. So check out the Twitter there. On to the Saints predictions. Week 1's Monday night, home against the Texans. A little scary last year. We saw the Saints struggle against the Bucs first game of the year. But something I say every year is you can't take too much away from week 1. It really tells you nothing, so people always overreact. So my point is, the Saints starting off a little bad last year. Maybe they can do it again this year, but I just think in this atmosphere, Monday night in New Orleans, I got the Saints. And they're at LA for the Rams. I think I'm very confident about this one. The Saints win this one. They get the revenge, and how the NFL's been working, the officials been working lately. I think they owe the Saints a little something here maybe. So for those reasons, I'm picking the Saints, even though it's in LA, the revenge game in week 2. Then they're away against Seattle. Seattle's a tough one because last year I was doubting the Seahawks too because it looked like they're in a rebuild mode except for their quarterback, who's one of the best in football. And it's look like they took another step in that rebuild direction once again. But I just don't know. Russell Wilson could do it again. And we got to get to the Seahawks video still, but I'm going to pick the Saints. Much more complete team. Seahawks are tough to beat in Seattle, though. And then the Saints got the Cowboys. Last year they struggled with them. This time it's in New Orleans. I got the Saints again. They are 4-0 at this point. Then they're home against Tampa. We saw them struggle with Tampa last year, even the year before. I think it was the last game of the year they struggled with them. I like the Saints at home, though. Then, finally, I think they get their first loss. I did the Jags video. I picked the Jags here. I think in Jacksonville, I think just the defense steps up. The Saints really struggle to get things going on offense here. Kind of a bold gut feeling here. So the Saints come up with their first loss. And then they get another loss here against the Bears. I think these 2 games in a row are tough because they're away and they're against very good defenses. I'm thinking that Cowboys game last year, something similar to that could happen. This time they're home against the Cowboys. Big difference there. And then playing in Soldier Field, very tough. So I think they'll lose that one. They'll beat the Cardinals. Their defense could struggle to try to game plan against Kyler Murray a little bit, but they'll beat them. I like them after the bye week, home against the Falcons as well. Then they're going to Tampa. Like I said, the last couple of years, it seems like they always lose to Tampa at some point, so I think they'll lose one here, even though, I'm not in love with this Tampa team. I think they're still in rebuild mode, even people may not agree. I like them over the Panthers. Then Thursday night in Atlanta. They seem to be doing very well against Atlanta last few years, but Thursday night in Atlanta is going to be tough. I'll take the Falcons. Falcons could bounce back. They do have a very young offensive line now. Their defense needs to stay healthy, but I think they get this win here. Against the Niners, I will take the Saints at home. I will also take them against the Colts. It's Monday night. That's going to be a good game, probably a shootout. The difference is Monday night in New Orleans, they get to play two AFC South teams Monday night there. But I think another AFC South team, actually, if you watch the Titans video, this was probably one of the hardest games I had to pick, and I kind of played the matchup here. I like the Titans in this matchup. I think they can keep up scoring. Not only keep up scoring, but I think the Titans' defense is good enough to slow the Saints down, especially at home. I don't think it's a good matchup for the Saints. The reason this is so hard to pick is because will the Titans be healthy at this point? And this is about time for the Saints to get ready for the playoffs. So very tough pick. I like picking matchup though, especially when the matchup favors the team at home. And then they are away against the Panthers, but I like the Saints both games against the Panthers. So 11-5. Again, they'll have their games where they can't really put points on the board, and there'll be most weeks where they look like the best offense in football. That's just the regular season. They just need to get to the playoffs, which they will, and then they'll compete and try to get where they belong. So I got 11-5 here. This is the first team we're doing in the NFC South. We're going to get through the rest of the NFC South. Then we have the AFC West and NFC West to get to. Another thing I like to do is kind of go back and which games can go either way. Really, they can lose to the Rams and the Seahawks here, week 2 and 3. They can honestly lose to the Cowboys. I just don't see them starting 1-3 though. But then they can definitely get one of these games. The Bears one's going to be real tough, possibly the Jags. They could beat the Falcons. I think it's kind of back and forth. They could win these, couldn't lose those. So I think it's an accurate record prediction. We will see, though. There's always surprises. I guess it depends on everyone's health. But again, we're going to get through the rest of the NFC South, then AFC West, then NFC West. Then it's time for playoff predictions, Super Bowl predictions, and then we'll get other guys at the Goat House their predictions as well. We're also covering the other predictions for the upcoming 2019 season and the NBA draft we're covering as well. So a lot going on here at the Goat House, daily sports videos. That's going to do it for this one, though. Please check out our other videos if you haven't quite yet. Please subscribe. Click that like button. Be much appreciated. Thanks everyone for watching. Goodbye.